Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I primarily look at Pokemon cards. It's a bit of an odd short video today, talking about print errors, or print variance perhaps. Maybe error is too strong a word. And how we as collectors, or some parts of the collecting establishment, can become obsessed with minutiae that are is so silly it borders on insanity. I don't know. I mean, we are a weird lot, people who collect things, but you can take that to an extreme. This is what kicked this discussion off today, but actually I'm going to go back in time, because I have this stack of little cards here from Unbroken Bonds. Now, these came out of a pre-release kit for Unbroken Bonds back in 2019. I remember having a discussion with TCG Gaming about this. And he's an obsessive, as am I. He's way more obsessive than me, but he does like his errors and oddities and stuff. And I had shown him these cards, and he was very interested in them because they are different. Very subtly different. Now, this one is an interesting print error. These cards all came out of a pre-release deck, as I said, and they're not like the normal cards from the set, and they are very hyper glossy. I'm not sure the camera is going to pick them up, but they are really ridiculously glossy cards, and therefore the finish on them, whatever the printing facility does to finish the cards off, was different on these cards to the regular cards. But yeah, it's not going to pick up very well on camera, but believe me, they are a little bit like the old glossy Japanese cards from the early days you used to get. They really do have a sort of strange finish to them. And it wasn't all the cards, it was just some of the cards. So these are the ones that I picked out from my pre-release kits that had this odd extra finish of lacquer almost put over the top of them. So I've kept them over the years just as a strange anomaly. Come up to the present day, I opened 2 boxes of what's it called, battle partners, and I noticed that the cards inside them were different between the 2 boxes. And this was the most extreme example, but I will show you several others. And I'm not saying this is anything special. It just shows that we can become obsessed with these little details of quirkiness that production of product can have. Now look at these 2 cards. I hope you can see how different they are. The one on the left is, I would say, the normal one, but the one on the right has a weird saturation of almost bluey green. They are very different coloured if you look at the actual Metapod in this. This is a leaf green, and this is I can't remember what the shade of, I think hooker's green, I don't know. It's an odd green. And that is just weird to my eyes, that there are these 2 completely different colour variants. Now, as I say, that's the most obvious, and I went through the rest of the boxes and pulled out some other examples just to see if anyone can notice the difference between the dark Kamala and the pale Kamala. And if you look at this area of grass in the back, this is a very bluey green under the swing here, whereas this is a less bluey green. But they are different prints. This is so silly. Sorry. I think, right, so that's darker than that. Yeah, you can see that these 3 seem normal, but this one is darker. Or there's an extra layer of something. It's in the green layer, I think. It's a sort of blue tinge to the green. Yeah, one of these Miraculous is very much darker than the other one. I don't know whether it's been double printed or whether they put just the wrong ink in that day. But so you get these little quirks here. You got a dark, dark, pale, pale, pale. So if you look at the face, yeah, this is a nice olivey pale green, and this is a completely different coloured green. So, does anybody care? Ultimately they shouldn't. There are far more important concerns in the world. That's very extreme as well. There's a dark Caterpie, and then some pale Caterpies. Oh, there you go. These two are pale. That one's dark. I don't know why this is interesting to me. It shouldn't be. It's so silly. You got a completely different colour on this one. And then let's have a look. Yeah, you can see. I mean, it's the blue, isn't it? This is a pale blue. This is a mid blue here. Yeah. And can you spot these two darker, and then you get paler, paler, paler. 3 pales, 2 darks. And then we've got here 2 darks and 1 pale. So it's just interesting to me how things can be. Obviously there's going to be variance in everything, because this is the physical world. We're not living in a digital world. Things happen. Inks are different, print runs are different, whatever. But what I find interesting is that people can actually find interest, and I'm part of it, because it doesn't hugely interest me. Yeah, they're an interesting quirk. I'm not going to go, ooh, I've got something rare, but it's just how our brains work, that we look at things and think, ooh, there's something gone wrong here that's different. We must collect I'm not going to collect every variant of this, but it is interesting that we react like this as obsessive compulsive collectors. And these things interest our brains and say, ooh, look, 2 different colours of the same card. And that is actually very strikingly different. Yeah. And somehow that engages our interest in them, or in this case, hyperglossy cards. And at the end of the day, we'll all be dust and nothing will matter. But there you go. That's my brief little video on quirky misprints in the more general sense.